I'm getting a real feeling of deja vu here because for me, this is not a new fight and it's been a very long journey. And it's also been personally an illustration that you actually can, through effective campaigning, change even the most entrenched decisions. Because, I mean, this started for me at Brompton Hospital. I live on Sydney Street. It's 50 yards from my home. And for me, a little bit of history, it starts in 2013 BC, which stands for before Councillor, when I was a member of my local paramilitary organisation, the Sydney Street and District Residents Association, and very active with that and Cracker and the Chelsea Society. And I was invited by the chief executive to become a member of the Royal Brompton Liaison Group under his chairmanship. On the basis of their first scheme, which was to spend £600 million on refurbishing and expanding the Sydney Street site. And I've dug out the minutes from that meeting in 2013, and I'll just read them to you. He said, after a number of abortive plans to relocate the hospital, the Trust Board have resolved to stay in Chelsea based on the site at the main hospital block. The hospital buildings away from the main block will be sold on a phased approach to provide the capital to finance the construction of the new building next to the main block and for the refurbishment works. That was the plan. It also contained in that a statement that says that Royal Marsden Hospital is not interested in acquiring any of the sites being disposed of, and they are unlikely to be able to pay the price that the Royal Brompton Hospital will demand, which will almost inevitably be for residential use. So, I mean, I think that, for me, set the tone of the discussions I was going to have with the Royal Brompton Hospital. And clearly, along with Councillor Healy, we're both not members of the Bob Bell fan club. But anyway, in the last statement, as I say, that statement about the Marsden was entirely false, but it galvanised local people to very much support and fight against that plan, because we knew that the Royal Marsden, which is a world-class cancer hospital, it was really the only opportunity for them to expand their hospital. And so the prospect of that being turned into flats was obviously very abhorrent. So anyway, when all the detailed plans came out, it was fair to say it went down like an absolute lead balloon. And we started our first battle with councillors, and that resulted in us actually bringing to the council meeting in July 2004 again a plea to stop the plans that were there currently drafted. And again, I'm just going to quote from the statement of that council, because I think it's very relevant to what we're talking about today. And that was, we believe that the loss of the current community assets, specifically the Fulham wing, cannot be justified solely on the benefit to the Royal Brompton Hospital, and that decisions should be made taking into account the wider healthcare and economic needs of the borough. And so the argument was supported and the plans were dropped. And as I say, we worked very hard with our local councillors. My local councillor at the time was Sir Merrick Cockell. And after that first battle, he said to me, have you ever thought of being a councillor? Because I'm going to step down. And if you don't like it, you can always get out again, because there'll be another election. It's only a by-election. So, and I did apply and I did become a councillor. So obviously when the second scheme arrived in 2006, which was effectively for a much smaller extension to the main building, funded by the redevelopment of the farmers market, it was less contentious. I mean, local residents saw that, although, again, as a local person, seeing the farmers market turned into what actually would look a little bit like a canyon was a price that we accepted to keep the Brompton Hospital on that site and flourishing as well. Sadly, that obviously, has not come to pass. So really, I think just to finish off, is that obviously we've got 218. I've got this report, obviously a briefing paper of 18 points on the benefits. Not one thing about the impact that this is going to have on our borough. So, I mean, it's a battle that's going to start again. It's a battle to keep medical use and employment on site. And I'm sure Johnny Thalasitis will be talking about the SPD on that battle. So if I can just really finish off to say that I support these motions, and I will do anything personally, again, to ensure that we retain the Royal Brompton Hospital. And much of what Elizabeth said in her speech was very much based on action, doing things, making things happening, and working on things together. So in the spirit of this, I very much welcome the motions tonight. But I also do so with a bit of caution. because I'd like to explain why, Mr. Mayor. Conservative councillors have been campaigning to save the Brompton Hospital for months, if not years. And whilst I'm eager to hear the views of others, tonight feels to me like it's just Labour playing catch up. There are numerous voters here tonight, no doubt from different wings of our local Labour group. But in my view, there is no debate, and there never has been, and there never will be a debate. We want to save the Brompton Hospital, and we've been campaigning for months to do so, and we'll continue to campaign alongside our residents. So we need to be careful that meetings have a point to them, because our residents don't benefit from endless meetings and talking shops. They benefit from action, as demonstrated by the council on this side of the changer, and especially over the last few months. And we've been in action for 24/7, working hard, and will continue to do so every single day. Thank you.